Minasan konbanwa. Ore wa Marko Yamashita desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Thank you guys for stopping in. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Starting right on time. Starting right on time. So as you guys can see here real quick, just a quick update on the petition that we started roughly a little bit more than a day and a half now. We are already up to 804 signatures on the petition. If you have not followed me on Twitter, or if you do not have your notifications on here for the petition, I did send an initial tweet to Yago, Hololive, and, KoreKore, and Achan, making them aware that of the existence of the petition, and that we at the time of when I sent that tweet, that we were about 20 under 800, and now we have surpassed 800 signatures on the petition here. So great job. I am very proud of everyone. I do see that some people have donated $1 here and there to help promote the petition, and to get it to show up on recommendations, and so on and so forth. So I threw in $10 in there as well. So we are fine on that stuff right now, guys. So you guys, if you guys haven't signed it and you guys want to sign it, I will put the link here. I'll pin the link here shortly on in the chat, and you guys can certainly go sign it. You'll get a prompt asking if you want to donate, guys. We have over $100 in donations just to promote this this petition. And let me tell you right now that the dollar donation amount versus the amount of recommendation views and promotions for it, there is a formula for it. And right now we are probably about 10 to 1, whereas we have like 10 times the amount of funding, and 1% of that, only 1%, or 10% of the 100% has been used. So we have like 90% of that funding that has not been used out of the $100. So don't worry about donating unless you really want to. If you want to make a donation or something like that, you know what I would suggest to do? I would suggest that you guys hold on to it until Rushia decides to stream, either on Twitcasting or wherever she decides to stream, and then see if she has something set up. Just save it for that, and then send her that money and that love, guys. Okay, so but that's great. We're just for under 2 days, and we already have over 800 signatures. That's good. I mean, we're banging it out, guys. That's about 750, 760 signatures in 1 day. We're doing doing a pretty good job. So make sure you if you haven't share it out there to tell everyone, hey, we're getting this momentum going. We're only 200 away from 1,000. This is real. This is the real deal. We got people that want to support this. Okay, so that's my stump speech on that. I'm proud of you guys for going out there and just sharing it out and taking the time to sign it and everything like that, because that helps her. It doesn't help me. It helps her. And the more people that sign it, the more I can turn back around and say, hey, look, Yago, last time I sent you a message, I had 750. Now I have 1,000. Now I have 1,250. Now I have 1,500. If I can keep doing that, and I can show them, hey, I got momentum behind this. I got more and more people that are taking this seriously. We might be able to elicit an answer. So we'll see. Okay, so let's move on from this. I'll put the link in here in the chat. I had completely spaced out the fact that KoreKore was what even existed, and so I was a little bit late to the party when he had dropped his video, and I spent the last hour and a half reviewing the video, and I didn't get through all of it. I got through most of it. I think there's about 20 minutes of the video that I still hadn't seen yet that I just didn't have time to get through. And the amount of video that I did get through, I just had to shake my head at a lot of it, and I can't believe people buy into, there's kernels of truth in there, but then then it's being spun, and it's being spun so badly that I mean it's basically turning the little kernels of truth that, or what might be truth in there, into something that is completely and utterly just sensationalized, and that's what he does, guys. Okay, so don't expect to that what comes out of what he says, or what is perceived to be truth coming from him, is even remotely true. Because number one, what he's presenting, what he's presenting, he doesn't give you any context of where it comes from, whether or not when the information he got, when he even got it. And most of the time, when, what he has censored is the most important parts that would make you be able to identify, yes, this is actually coming from the person he's claiming it's coming from, guys. Okay, so and we'll go over that here in just a second. You didn't understand most of it, but I got the feeling that it was damage control. That's yeah. You are you're on the right track. You are definitely on the right track. The petition isn't going to work. Let me answer this nonsense. Okay, the petition. If the petition doesn't work, I would rather that to do the petition and have it not work than sit on my ass and do nothing. Okay. So if you have another suggestion on how to help Rushia, or maybe help her with this situation, you have the floor right now. I give you the floor. You have the floor. You can give the chat and this stream your suggestion on how we can help her, and how we can make our voices heard. Because let me ask you this: if you think that what's going on with this is wrong and it should be handled a different way, how would you try to get their attention to tell them, hey, look, I think this is wrong. Let's try to figure out a different way. I'll give you a minute to respond, because I do have slow mode on, even though it's only 5 seconds. Oh, so while I'm thinking about it, her mama did tweet out yesterday. I'm not sure if you guys saw that or not. Where did it go? I got so many things open. Mama. Oh, Alice, you're on. Okay, I'll go back to that. Okay, your minute's up, so I'm gonna move on. Okay, if you're typing something long, I'll see it once you finish typing. Okay, so we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go to the main enchilada here right now. So this is the entire video, that his entire stream. I ripped it from YouTube. I won't tell you how, but I did. Okay, and I did it primarily for myself because I basically wanted to make sure I had it archived. So I'm not gonna sit here and stream it, restream this garbage in entirety, but I am going to do it in segments here because I want you guys to pay attention to exactly what is going on with this video, and we're also going to stop and talk about specific portions. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start here at timestamp number timestamp here is at 39:18. This here is okay, just making this thing worse, to be honest. Sema. Okay, making what worse? Me talking about KoreKore, or me taking what he is misrepresenting as truth and dispelling the half truths that he is spouting out, and people are running out around as fact. Because that's what it is. Okay, what he did during this stream, he literally presented a bunch of garbage with some very, very vague pockets of truth, and then sensationalized the entire thing. And not only that, he had an English translator who didn't even translate what he was saying correctly. Okay, and he was literally coaching her to say what he wanted her to say, and not there were parts that he literally was coaching her to say what he wanted her to say, and what he had typed out on the screen didn't match what he said, what she said. Okay, and we're gonna get to that. Okay. So, to sit here and say, look, this guy is throwing garbage, and people shouldn't buy into it. Like there was another VTuber that put out a stream here a couple hours ago, and like 20,000 people watched him. And he said, and then we're in breaking news here, and this is hot off the topic. We have hot breaking news from KoreKore. Now, don't take this as truth, but I'm reporting it as, what he said, and blah, 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 blah. And he didn't even look into it whether or not it was true or not. Okay? So that's what we're doing. Okay? We're taking what he said, and we're going to take a look at it. And we're going to look to see whether or not what was said was true, or what if it was spun, or what they were saying was complete and utter garbage. Okay? So let's walk with me on this, okay? Now, if you know Japanese, or if you have heard it, and you understand basic Japanese, okay, this first part you're going to understand, and listen carefully, because you're going to hear immediately what I'm about to tell you, okay? So I invite you to listen, okay? Let me know if the volume's okay.
私はそんなことは望んでいません。ファンデットのみんなにそんなひどいコメントをしてほしくないです。私からの最後のお願いです。どうか聞いてほしいです。皆さんこんばんは。
Was the volume okay? Let me know if the volume okay. Volume check, guys. Let me know if the volume was okay. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back up just a little. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit, or not. Come on. Why are you going to my hypercast? Okay, we're gonna replay this real quick.
Right. あるんだったら体制を変えるべきなんじゃないかなと、まあ俺はねちょっとね上からですけども、まあ思いますほんまに。ただね、まあただこんな偉そうに言いましたけど、
Oops,
の
I'm
流
back too far.
れで俺にね、聞いていただきたいです。
皆さんこんばんは。今私のことでお騒がせして大変申し訳ございません。コリコリチャンネルを見ている皆さんにお願いがあります。コメントでの誹謗中傷をやめてください。私はそんなことは望んでいません。ファンデットのみんなにそんなひどいコメントをしてほしくないです。私からの最後のお願いです。どうか聞いてほしいです。
Okay, now listen to what the English translator says.
ということでね、これ多分翻訳した方がいいね。これちょっとこれ翻訳します今から。今翻訳係の2人いますでしょうか。今文章を送りました LINE に。こちらを良いでしょうか。英語でまず。
OK です。
はい、お願いします。
ちょっと待ってください。ちょっと読みます。
あ、そうですね。ちょっとここは多分ね言わないとみんなわからないんで、海外の人見てる人ね。この方、今の音声は今のルシア。
So basically, right now, that he played a clip from.
Hello everyone. I'm very sorry for causing trouble this time. I would like to ask all of you to stop hating on me. I have not done anything that you guys have said.
Okay, so that was all that the English person. That was all the English translator gave us from that. Okay, so. If you notice first off, the English translator basically paraphrased everything that was supposedly said. Number two, if you notice the sound clip that was played that was supposedly from Rushia, mentioned KoreKore, hit by name several times. Okay? And did you guys hear that? She mentioned KoreKore several times, okay? And she said, hello, this is Rushia, and she made comments about, that she asked that you please refrain from the hostilities towards KoreKore, about, things were said and are being said towards KoreKore, and things are being misrepresentative, and that she's kindly asking that you stop with the rumors and misrepresentations and the slanders, and that the situation is getting out of hand, and that things need to be clarified about what actually was supposed to happen and what actually happened, because things didn't go down the way she thought they were going to go down. Okay, now basically the English translator said, "Hello, everyone. I'm very sorry for everything. You guys are hating on me. Please stop hating on me. Thank you very much." I mean that's literally what the EN translator said. Okay, now I don't. You can type out like if you type out something in Japanese, it may be a paragraph long, and then if you translate in English, it can be maybe about 2 sentences, and then vice versa. But when you're pronunciating those things, there tends to be more syllables in the Japanese case. I'm just saying. Okay, so that was very sus. Okay, that caught my ear right away. Now we're gonna go to the next clip here. Okay, so and I'm just as I'm looking, I'm finding the next the next area here. You're gonna notice that this throughout the entire thing. Okay, next one is okay. Now, I want you to pay attention to what he does here, because this also started getting very sus here as well. Okay, so what he's about to do here, what he's about to do here is he is trying to relay to his translators here, and he starts doing this. He has something he wants to say in English, and so he starts wanting to. He starts wanting to have them say what what he's trying to say in English. Okay, guys, but what he ends up doing is he ends up typing it out. And then as soon as he types it out, he automatically cuts it right out of the screen. It's like to me I was like, why are you doing that? Because you have two people here that are trying to read it to the audience, right? And I'm not sure if these people are like sitting right next to him, or if he's screen sharing to them, or if they're watching the stream or something like that. But it starts getting really sus here, because I mean, I literally went back and I started having to do screen grabs of what he was doing.
In this incident, everyone is thinking that Lucia was living with Mafu Mafu. However, that's not true. So she asked Lucia for a picture of her room so that he knows that they're not living together. But she told him not to show that picture on his stream, but he did show that. And that's the incident that you guys are talking about, how he showed something that she said not to show. And he's really sorry about showing the picture that she told him not to show.
Okay, I want you to listen to this again, okay? Because this what she says here makes absolutely no sense. Okay? I'm gonna wind this back.
Lucia for a picture. In this incident, everyone is thinking that Lucia was living with Mafu Mafu. However, that's not true. So she asked Lucia for a picture of her room so that he knows that they're not living together. But she told him not to show that picture on his stream, but he did show that. And that's the incident that you guys are talking about, how he showed something that she said not to show. And he's really sorry about showing the picture that she told him not to show.
Okay, so number one, the story that he's having her tell is that Rushia supposedly gave another person a picture of her room to prove that they weren't living together and they weren't cohabiting together. Okay, now number one, the pictures that were shown of her room. The pictures that were shown of her room actually, were the same things that people were using to incriminate her. Okay, so, and if she had bought stuff that she saw from his pictures, and she said, "Oh, that's cute. I am gonna go out and buy the exact same thing." Why would she send him pictures of those exact same things when she knows that Mufasa has those pictures? And new people, I don't pronunciate this guy's name correctly. I can never pronunciate this guy's name correctly, okay? So to me, he's Mufasa. And if he has a problem with it, he can come talk to me about it, and we can talk about this and everything else. But to me, he's Mufasa, okay? So this is the new video that he streamed out here today, okay? So let me pose this question to you again, guys, okay? Now, if I am trying to clear my name, okay, and I know that the person people are accusing me of living with, I have bought stuff, and I have stuff in my room that are the exact same things that are in his room when he's shown on his stream, do I take pictures of those things that are in my room and then give it to KoreKore or Mufasa to prove my innocence? Psyche, we're getting to that, okay? We are getting to that. I appreciate your comment. That is a very excellent point. But what I'm doing is we also need to prove the point, okay, that the translators that he is using, that he pulled out to try to give him more credibility, are completely sus. Completely. Okay, I don't know about the Chinese one, but the English one is completely sus at this point, because this is the second time that she has done this. Okay? Now, okay, so, does that really make any sense? I mean, it doesn't make sense. That story makes no sense to me, okay? Okay, so, again, what they're spinning and what they're saying is, this is all rumor and this is all rumor that he is, or in gossip that he's trying to pass off as truth, okay? We're looking at this objectively, and we're asking questions. Okay, we're asking questions regarding this, because also you got to remember, so far what he is presenting us here, and the sound bites I'm presenting you, he's not actually giving us any physical evidence on this stuff either. I mean, where's the physical evidence? There is no physical evidence. Okay, I mean, how do we know that she actually supposedly gave him pictures? I mean, for all we know, those pictures were on one of her social media, and they were ripped off of her social media, and they used it. I mean, if they were actually, hang on, if they were actually, my stream health is fine, so I don't have any warnings on my side, and I'm not dropping any frames. Okay, but the pictures that were being used, for all we know, and they were friends on her alt Twitter account, which and several of their Twitter accounts that and a lot of those are private now. For all we know, those are ripped right off of there, and they're using them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is very easy to do that. I mean, you guys really don't underestimate how much you can rip off of somebody's social media and use it against them. So, I mean, but we'll move on, okay? We'll move on. Well, Okay, next spot here. So someone sent a super chat to him, and it really got under his skin.
多分理解してくださったのかもしれないですね、スパチャの方。はい。英語の翻訳間違ってる。部屋の写真見せてないのに見せちゃってごめんになって。おい、ほらほら。部屋の写真、俺部屋の写真見せてないよ。だけど翻訳では部屋の写真を見せ
And basically, the super chat says the only thing that matters is that she retired because of KoreKore, and it's because that he got the picture and shared it.
Oh, sorry, man. My bad. Basically, he didn't show the picture of her room, but he told her not. Wait, she told him not to tell everyone that she sent a picture of her room. Sorry.
ありがとうございます。やばいやばい。これでスナイパー解除来るかな、みんな。そりゃそうだよ。だって部屋の写真
Okay,
勝手に見せたらダメでしょ。
ごめんなさい。
so he's as of right now, he's basically denying that he even showed the picture of her room. He's denying he ever even had the picture and compared it or showed it or anything like that. That she gave him the picture, but he never shared it out. That's what he's saying. Okay, and the super chat, basically says all that matters is that she had to retire because of KoreKore, and it's because he got the picture of her room. Okay. And then the translator said that that's not true. I never KoreKore never showed the picture. She gave him the picture, but he never showed it. But yet somehow the picture got out. I mean, come on. All right. This shit wasn't there to show full screenshot of chat. Just acting he don't know about the super chat. Eh? Henry, use proper English, please. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, deny everything. Yes. Very, very good recovery, Henry. Yeah, deny everything. Exactly. And we're about to get to that. Okay, we're about to get to that. Okay, see here. So the next one here. Is a very big doozy. Okay, so let's get to. And yes, I know I need to have background music in my streams. I completely forgot about turning it on, and I'm too lazy to turn it on now.
一つですね、なんか質問来てたんですけど、
はいはいはい。
なんかコレリスの皆さんがマフマフさんとルシアさんに誹謗中傷を送ったと怒ってるんですよ。なんかそれをなんか次は言ってるみたいで。
僕の視聴者がマフマフと
ルシアさん
に誹謗中傷を送った。ノー、そんなわけない。むしろ逆、いや。ルシアのファンでしょ、そんな。俺のリスナーじゃないでしょ。なんか、それは、まあ、俺のリスナーももちろんいるけど、そうじゃないって言ってる。なんか、僕のリスナーだけじゃなく、ルシアのファン、マフマフのファン、ホロライブのファン、あと、野獣馬。
野獣馬？
野獣馬。あ、これ野獣馬わからないですか？何て言ったらいいの？第三者。関係のない人たち。炎上が大好きな人たち。まとめるか、ちょっと待って。
Okay, first off, I played that exchange there for you for a reason. If you noticed, he got very upset when she was trying to ask for clarification. Okay, and what they were discussing there is there was the accusation was put out there that KoreKore is at fault, that the toxicity and everything that's going on right now is squarely on his shoulders, and he immediately got upset about that because he is denying the fact that he has any involvement and or responsibility in that. So then they started discussing that. So I want you to watch what he does here, though. Okay.
えっと
Actually, I'm not sure if it's this one or if it's next one, but this we'll let it run.
これリスナーだけではありません。例えば、ルシアのアンチファン、マフマフのアンチファン、炎上が大好きな、人たちがたくさんコメントしており、これはこれリスナーに嵐行為をするなと普段から伝えている。完璧だ。
Okay, did you see what he just did there? Okay, he typed all that out, and then he just cut it right off the screen. Okay, so I mean, what was the point of typing it out? You're gonna drop off the screen there, but to all listeners, it doesn't seem like the person really understands. It doesn't seem like this person really understands Japanese. Take everything he says with a grain of salt. Cheers, guys. You're more than welcome to leave. I actually am Japanese. I was born Japanese. My parents are Japanese. So I can go take a blood test and prove it. But you have a great day. All right. So anyways, so yeah, he typed all this stuff out, right? And then he just like cut it immediately. All right. So I'm not sure who that was for.
これでお願いします。
But here's the translator's interpretation.
Everyone who's commenting on Lucia and Mafu Mafu isn't my listeners, and it would be Lucia's haters or fans, Mafu Mafu's haters or fans, or people that love people getting canceled. And KoreKore always tells his listeners not to hate on the people that he puts on his streams. Okay, that's it.
Okay, we're gonna run that back.
人が大好きにあ
Everyone who's commenting on Lucia and Mafu Mafu isn't my listeners, and it would be Lucia's haters or fans, Mafu Mafu's haters or fans, or people that love people getting canceled. And KoreKore always tells his listeners not to hate on the people that he puts on his streams. Okay, that's
Okay, so that's what the translator said. Okay, now the translator and what he had her interpret, okay, basically absolved KoreKore of any responsibility, okay, of anything that is going on in the community right now. Okay, she basically absolved him of any responsibility, and of course he's not gonna have her point the finger at his chat, because number one, his chat super chats and pays him, and number two, he's not gonna want his chat to turn against him. I mean, that's just common sense. Okay, now this is what this text actually says. Okay, the text actually says that KoreKore's listeners are not the only ones commenting on Rushia and Mufasa. For example, a lot of Rushia's aunties and fans fan the flames and have been commenting. And KoreKore usually tells his listeners not to troll. Okay, that's drastically different than what he had her tell everyone in response to what he typed. Okay, So what she said is completely different than what he actually typed out on the screen. Okay? Now, could it be that the translator is rough around the edges? Could it be that the translator isn't exactly doing one-to-one or doesn't quite know, what the correct words that she should be using? Maybe, okay? But this guy has also worked in a producer role for other idol groups. Okay, he also works in the entertainment industry. He has contacts. Okay, he was able to pull a Chinese translator, a quote unquote translator, to do this stream. So if he can get a hold of a Chinese translator to do this stream, you can't tell me that he couldn't get a proper English translator to do this stream. Especially if he's trying to put the record straight. All right, take care. Okay, so let's move on. Uh, bu- 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 bu-
名である。俺はバットマンだ。じゃあこれを
So once again, he typed out the text and he immediately cut it out. I mean, it's almost like he's trying to hide the text that he's trying to have them say. Hello, thank you for stopping in. He's trying to make a pun at the very end here. At first he said Batman, and then the second time the last sentence says I am an Avenger. I don't know why he's trying to make a pun at the end of there. I mean, neither one of the translators even said it.
言ったのは同意？
同性です。同性の誤解。
あ、わかりました。The parts that Lucia told me not to say was the parts where she sent proof on how she wasn't living with Mafu Mafu. I'm Avengers.
Actually, she did say it.
Justin.
So.
言ったのはどう？あ、わかりました。
So she actually did get most of this right.
The parts that Lucia told me not to say was the parts where she sent proof on how she wasn't living with Mafu Mafu. I'm Avengers.
Okay, so basically what she said is that, and I checked the text, the text here, and it mostly matches up. The reason why I told you the story was that but withheld part of it was to get rid of the misunderstanding of cohabitation. Okay, now, I don't understand, and maybe it's just me, but what I don't understand, if she sent proof that they weren't living together, but she didn't want him to use the proof, why did she send the proof? Was she just trying to prove it to him, or was she trying to prove it to everyone as a whole? I mean, if she was just trying to prove it to him, if they were friends, he would just take her word for it. I mean, at least that in all the friendships I've been in, our words are bond, and if they're really my friends, they're gonna believe me, right? So I don't understand why she would send him proof, but then say don't show it to anybody. I mean, I guess that could happen, but then that also leaves you open for, like, well, if this is something that he's not supposed to see, why are you showing it to him in the first place? So So and we got one last thing here on this stream, and then we're gonna cut away from this, or on this video, and then we'll cut away from this.
個別メッセージイベ内緒でやってることってなるんで
So this last one here has been also making the rounds here lately. That was shared out, and we actually talked about this yesterday, and a few people shared this similar message out, and it's just proof that that person was not the only one. Basically, what the text says is, it basically says, don't overdo it. And this is in reference to a mega Akaspa that was sent. They dropped, I believe it was something like, I want to say it was like $1,000 US, comparison to $1,000 US, something like that. And so she sent them a message in return, and she said, don't overdo it. May I send you a thank you video next time? This is just my feelings, and I'm acting alone, so please keep it a secret. And this is in regards to the super chats this is not the only one that she sent out. She sent out a lot to other people that were Akaspa senders or frequent Akaspa senders to give them a thank you. Okay, now this is not typical behavior of Hololive members, but and unfortunately after Rushia left, several of those big donors, I guess, either were people that felt like they were burned or betrayed or something like that, and they felt like, well, it doesn't matter anymore, and so they started sharing it. I don't know, but that's what this screen is about. So there's roughly about 20 minutes left in this video, but I mean, I got to this point and I started saying to myself, what he's trying to pass off to the English audience is just complete and utter garbage, especially if you're not going to have a person to properly translate what you're trying to say correctly, then why have them on the show? Okay? I mean, I don't care if you think that what my interpretations of the Japanese that's being presented is wrong, or it's not good enough, or not a proper translation. The translations that that I'm seeing are so drastically different, or so sus compared to what the actual his translator is doing. I mean, at least mine somewhat fits into a proper grammar format, versus the fact that she's cutting out like 3/4 of what he's saying. Okay, and half the time it doesn't match what he's typing in the first place. So you can take it at however way you want it, but for him to trot on somebody and say, I have an English translator here, you can trust this person, and everything she says is going to be exactly what I am saying, and it can't be further from the truth. So now you have English people that have a completely different opinion and aspect of what's being said and going on, versus what the Japanese people are being told. You now have two different stories, and then you have, within those two different camps, you have two more camps of antis and supporters. So now you have 4 different camps of people that all have varying degrees of what they think is the truth. Okay? I mean, you can't make this up, people. That is exactly why I'm calling this out as bullshit. Okay? Pure and utter bullshit. Now, the fact that he has these screenshots is one thing, but the fact of the matter is that most of this stuff that he's presenting here, you can scroll back all the way to the beginning here, okay? And you start looking at these things, okay? How are we supposed to know who these contacts are actually from? We have no way of knowing whose text messages these actually are, okay? And this person doesn't have green hair. They do have pink hair, so it could be Rushia's other hair color. It could be, but this was 2021. But how do we know? And who are they even talking to? So, and then we start going on further on, and then he starts presenting some of these other ones. And again, who is he? Who are we actually looking at here? We don't know. How are we supposed to know? I mean, and what context what was this stuff actually given? Did she actually give it to him? Or was this stuff actually gleaned off of somebody else's phone? I mean, and then again, you start getting into the whole picture debate, the pictures of her room and everything else, and all those other things. I see people sharing stuff about their rooms and things they bought and things that they're wearing and everything all the time on social media. And unless you go and you delete all that stuff as soon as you realize something is bad's going happening, you're that stuff's out there for you to out there for anybody to grab. So that's one thing, folks. That's one thing. Okay. And supposedly there was talk about that she made comments about that she gave this information to him to gave this information in case she disappeared because she was also contemplating suicide. There was also talk, folks. Okay, there was also talk that she made comments about hating the her English fans. Okay, somewhere in that whole debacle thing that we just looked at, supposedly she, and this is just what other people are saying, that there was the claim that she hates the English fans. Okay, and that's after she tweeted this out to us. This tweet out here, thanking the English fans yesterday, and most of you were sitting here in chat when we read it together. Okay, and if you were in chat with me, you all saw it with me, and I have this very stream archived. You could go back and look at it. So that can't be further from the truth. Okay, I mean, she doesn't go off and flame about hating her English fans, and then all of a sudden she turns back around and thank you. I want to thank all my fans from overseas for supporting and loving me. I love you guys. I mean, come on. I mean, seriously, come on, man. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't. You can make this stuff up because he's making a profit off this stuff. I mean, and that's why we're going over it tonight, or today, or whatever it is that that you're at, because we need to know the truth. We need to go over the evidence, and we need to see what is being presented out there, and we need to call out what is sus and what is not sus. Okay, because he's not going to give us the answers. He's not going to give us the answers. Did he give us the answers the first time? No. He had to trot out someone that supposedly was a translator. Did the translator give us the answers the second time? No. It made it worse. Okay? So what's going to happen the third time? Just for the views. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. And you know what? All these girls are suffering for it because of it. And yes, KoreKore, she lost her job, and you're partly responsible for it. Own up to it. Otherwise, you're just being nothing but a bitch. Jeez. And I will call you a bitch. Pardon my French. Makes me mad as hell. Alright, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? You know, when men don't own up to their own mistakes, you ain't nothing but a little bitch. And you can go hide. You can go cower. And, you know, no, it's not my fault, not my fault. But yeah, everyone knows it's your fault. You have responsibility, man. Grow some balls and take responsibility for what you've done. And just shut your mouth. And let the two parties that should be handling it handle it. And you know what? If Rushia keeps coming to you and saying, I want you to do this for me, tell her no. Be a fucking man and tell her no. Tell her to go handle her business. Because she should be going and handling her business and not having a punk ass like you going and messing it up further. Because that's exactly what you are, man. You're just nothing but a punk ass. Jeez. And I'm going to get a little hot in the collar about this because you know what? I'm sick of punks like you. Messing up everyone else's lives just for some money. Alright. And you got mamas like this that give birth to something beautiful. I mean, she gave birth to a beautiful piece of art. And now she's sitting here literally saying, all I can do is sit here with my fingers crossed. And sit here and remain silent. This is Rushia's mama. And this is what she said. I can only watch remain silent over the current happenings and have feelings of regret, but I have only gratitude towards Hololive and Rushia. Thank you for everything until now. She shouldn't be having to say that, man. And if Rushia be having problems, you shouldn't even be getting your hands involved in that. I mean, you're older than her, for Christ's sake. Be a man. Tell her to go take care of her problems and grow up. You don't be handling her problems. Look what you did. It's come to the point of a contract termination, but the large amount of fans that have enjoyed her streams until now is the truth. I cannot forget my feelings of respect towards that fact, but there is one thing I would like to ask from everyone's fans fighting each other, slandering, depriving enjoyment from what's happening and so forth. I humbly request that everyone please refrain from doing that. The most painful thing is not the contract termination, but seeing those things happen. Then shut your mouth, KoreKore. Regarding how Rushia's case has been handled after the controversy, just like everyone says, there's certainly some poorly handled actions. Gee, I wonder who she's talking about. However, in the past, I've had similar controversies, I bet, of different scale. The aftermath is exhausting and alone. I could not handle a situation properly. Therefore, I think it is cruel to push all the responsibility on her. Moreover, I myself personally have experience in working with the VTuber company, so I believe I can understand the difficulties of working with one. I do not want to say that it's everyone's fault, but regarding this matter, I would like to say great work, everyone. It's difficult for everyone. Thank you very much for reading up to this point. You know, old school. We used to go back out and we used to take punk asses like you. We used to handle it the old-fashioned way. Just saying. Now, am I condoning violence? No. So don't think I am. Okay? I'm not condoning violence. But geez, man. Just shut your mouth. I mean, haven't you done enough? Haven't you made enough off of this? All you're doing is making it more miserable for everyone else. I don't care whether or not you think my translations are bullshit or not. If you want to come in my chat and say, you don't know Japanese, you don't understand what you're reading, you don't understand what it says on the screen, then fine. Go watch somebody else. Alright? But that doesn't change the point that regardless if you think KoreKore is at fault or that everyone has a responsibility, like I think everyone has a responsibility that's involved in this, it doesn't take away from the fact that KoreKore is out there and he continues to fan the flames for profit. This is not helping her. And I don't care whether or not you agree with me or not, because look where we're at right now, folks. You're a little late. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for stopping in for one thing. So basically, we just finished going over the new video that KoreKore put out, okay? In a nutshell, he tried on two different translators. One was supposedly an English translator, and one was a Chinese translator. And basically, he had them read some statements. He tried to get them to explain some things that he wanted them to say. And the English translation of what he was either having them say in text form or verbally was completely different than what was actually being presented either on screen or verbally. I mean, the context above anything else was just so drastically different that it basically presented what he was supposedly saying as in a positive light, where he was exalting himself of any responsibility and in his involvement of the Rushia situation, and casting the blame completely upon those two parties and their fans. Stop milking this embarrassing. I would let me say something. Mima, stop milking this. Okay, how am I milking this? Mima, I'll give you the floor. I'm going to give you the floor here, just like I've given other people the floor that have come in here and made comments like this. I'm going to give you a minute here to respond. Okay? I am going to give you a minute here to respond. How am I milking this? I want to hear why you think I'm milking this, and then I'll respond to whatever you say. You have a minute to reply. Meanwhile, I'm going to take a drink of water, and I'm going to pet my cat here while you type. Because if you're going to come in here and say something like that, I would like to know why. Stop looking for a culprit. I am not looking for a culprit. I am calling out his bullshit. Okay? Now, let me also answer this, continue with my answer, okay? Mima, everyone that is involved in the situation with Rushia has a responsibility. Therefore, everyone has a quote unquote fault in this situation. Okay, everyone has a responsibility that they need to take, that they need to own. Okay, Rushia should not have shared information to a third party. Okay, KoreKore should not have even stepped 5 feet into this situation. Okay, now if there was a relationship, whether it be friendship or otherwise, between Rushia and this other guy, he shouldn't have been sharing any information with someone he knows profits off of gossip. Yet he did. He shared pictures, he shared phone calls and verbal conversations that were recorded. Okay? Therefore, he has fault in it as well. Okay? Cover Corporation has a responsibility and is at fault for the way that they handled this situation by firing Rushia the way that they did and letting her go. And she is one of the top earners of the company that has helped build Hololive over the last 2 years. Therefore, they have a responsibility and they're at fault. Okay, so that's 4 parties. All 4 parties have fault in this. No one person has fault in this. Okay, now KoreKore has continued to milk this. KoreKore, it has continued to profit off of this. My channel has no I am not monetized. I do not get ad revenue. I do not get super chats. I do not have membership. Since my channel has been open, I have literally been donated $10, okay? And that was on Twitch. Okay? And I don't ask for donations because I don't want donations. I do this because I want to. The reason why I'm streaming, the reason why I have streamed about Rushia as much as I have streamed over the last 2 days is because I'm one of her fans. I want to tell the truth. I want the people out there that care about her to know the truth. The English fandom that needs to know the truth so they can be armed with the truth and not believe the lies that are being spouted out to them from other parties. That is not milking it, my friend. Okay? I mean, if you don't agree with that, that's fine. But please do not come into my channel and start telling me that and accusing me of that, because quite frankly, I would not go into your channel and start telling you that. Okay? That's disrespectful. Okay? If you have a problem like that with me, you know, you can certainly email me. You can look up my socials. You can send me a message. You can tell me I'm wrong. Doing it that way, you can do it in private. Okay? But coming into my channel, I mean, that would be akin to walking into someone else's channel and doing the same thing, and calling them, talking trash about their channel. Would you like me to come into your channel and do the same thing? I'd like to know. Mima, I would like to know. I'd like to know, and then I'd like you to drop it. Okay? Would you like me to come into your channel and do the same thing to you that you're doing to me? I'm waiting for an answer. Okay, apparently you're not going to answer. Okay, that is perfectly fine. So I would respectfully ask that if you want to have a conversation about whether or not, what I'm saying is correct, that's one thing, okay? But coming in here, why don't we just accept it and stop looking for culprits to blame? Again, I'm not headhunting for culprits, Mima. Okay? I am literally seeing somebody passing falsehoods off and calling out their bullshit. There's a complete difference between, pointing blame at somebody and then calling them out on their bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not saying anything right now because I'm banning somebody. I'm not banning Mima. I'm banning somebody else. Yes, KoreKore is also at fault, but not just him. It started with Mufasa and started with Rushia as well. I just said that. You just repeated exactly what I said. Rushia, Mufasa. I call him Mufasa because I can't. I never can pronounce his name. And if he has a problem with that, he can come talk to me about it. And if you have a problem with that, I'm sorry. Too bad. I call him Mufasa. Okay. So, Rushia, the guy, KoreKore, KOREKore, yes, all four parties are at fault. Okay, yes, we can agree upon that. That's a good job. Good job. Okay, so let's move on. All right, so again and again, again, Mima, we're not looking for fault here, okay? And we're not pointing blame at just one person. What we want is, above all else, is for Rushia to be able to walk out on her own 2 feet and not sitting there, supposedly, on the brink of suicide or crying her brains off or having a mental breakdown or whatever state she happens to be in. That and that's why we put together the petition that's pinned to the top of the chat there, because we are not, and we're not going off and with pitchforks and demanding that this happen. We're politely and respectfully asking, hey, look, we're asking for this solution. Will you entertain it? That's all we're asking for. We're politely asking for it. We're like, hey, we're fans. We're paying customers. We would like to present you with our opinion and our comments. This is what we think. This is where things are at. Can we do it this way? I mean, I don't see how asking them to do something a certain way, is any different than what they're, any different than the way that they're doing it now. I mean, they're still telling her that she has to go because she broke her NDA. They're just doing it a different way. And as long as, she doesn't go off on a tangent and start doing something that would be detrimental to her and to KOREKore, and they give her 10 minutes to say, goodbye, as Rushia, I mean, that everyone walks away happy, more or less. I mean, everyone gets closure from it. And that's not milking it. That's just plain, having a heart. Anyways, you guys have been looking at my Ganyu here a little too long. She's my other waifu, so you guys I'm starting to get a little bit jelly that you guys are looking at my waifu here a little too much. Watching from Ukraine, stay safe if you are from Ukraine. If you are in that region, stay safe. Quite frankly, I would not be watching me right now if I was in Ukraine, but it is what it is. Where was the other thing I wanted to? Where was the other thing? So the other interesting thing I came across here, I think it was on Kotaku. Was it Kotaku? Okay, we more or less covered what was on Kotaku as well, so that's that seems that Kotaku did reach out to KoreKore, and they KoreKore has they never responded to Kotaku for comment, so that's also interesting. So that I think we actually got through most of what I wanted to cover here in the short term. So I want to, of course, I made the wrong decisions and reveal name from as well. But what can he do to prove his argument correctly? What can he do to prove Rushia and Mufasa weren't living together? He cannot, and he should not. He should shut his mouth. He doesn't need to be involved. He's a third party. He's a third wheel. It's not his problem. Why should he inject himself into a problem that's not his? It's not his ordeal. He should leave. That would be like me walking into someone else's relationship and saying, "Hey, tell me exactly how to, tell me your problems, and then I'll go and tell everyone how you're fixing it." It's not my problem. It's not my responsibility, and it's not his. What lies KoreKore does exactly? So KoreKore basically brought out a quote unquote English translator to try to prove his points in his last stream. And the English translations were either completely incorrect, or he had the person repeat information that tried to cast him in a positive life or absolve him of any responsibility. He basically said that he bared no responsibility for Rushia's termination when he was the third party that she passed, information that broke her NDA. So I mean, if he was not the third party that she gave information to, then if he was if his acceptance, if him saying I will take this information from you in confidence, and present it for you, was, if he never accepted that and he never agreed to it, she would have never broken her NDA and she would still be employed. Okay, so that's one. And the second thing, and now that I think about it, that's a very interesting point. The entire stream, this entire stream, this past entire stream that we just covered, we just went over. Okay, this entire stream, and this kind of goes back to what you're trying to ask here, about, what can he do to prove that they aren't living together. Okay, this entire past stream, he was trying to prove that she kept telling him not to show the information, but yet he showed the information, which means he betrayed her. Okay, so I mean, number one, he betrayed her confidence. Number two, he took information from her, which violated her NDA. And number three, if she wasn't giving him that information to prove her innocence, then why was she giving him that information in the first place? Okay? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. His story doesn't make any sense. Okay? And that is exactly why we are asking KoreKore to allow Rushia to tell her side of the story. He doesn't need to be saying anything on her behalf. Because his story has never made sense. And everything he presents to us, he either redacts so much that we can't even tell whether or not it's real or not, or the stories he keeps spinning never completely contradict themselves, or they just don't make sense. I mean, he tells us one thing, and then the next day, he completely absolves himself of that and says, I didn't have any responsibility in that. And puts his hands up in the air and says, I'm innocent. Okay? So, I mean, please do not come into my channel and sit here and say, stop trying to say that he's a liar. Because he's lying. Or he's presenting something that's not true. Oops. Yes, he is making it extremely confusing. He's a third party that doesn't need to exist in this problem. Please rewatch the first stream again. You want me to rewatch the first stream that they did when... Are you telling me to rewatch the first stream that he did? I think it was on the 14th or the 13th. Is that what you're asking? Because if that's what you're asking, then literally, I'm not sure what purpose that is going to serve when literally every legitimate, quote unquote, legitimate website out there that is covering this topic, including Kotaku, the Anime News Network, literally every news agency out there that talks about VTubers, literally every single one of them is telling the exact same thing that I'm saying right now. So I'm not sure what that would accomplish. But I would like to know, what stream Are you referring to his last stream that he did, and I think that was on the 13th? Who knows? He who puts oil at first place, I don't think this is big if he shuts his mouth. What? Annie, that didn't make any sense, man. Rushia also watched that stream, even provide him another info through line. The one on the 13th, or the one that the one that happened earlier today? Now you're being confusing. You're talking about two different things. First, what stream do you want me to go back and watch? Talk about one first, and then talk about what you're saying, what you're talking about. Okay? So is Marko a cat? I am an okami. I am a wolf. Wolf. Rah. The one on the 13th? Okay. So you want me to go back and watch the one on the 13th? Okay. Now, the second thing that you said, that Rushia gave him more info or gave him something through line, was that also on the 13th, or are you talking about the one from today? How many times has Rushia's boyfriend clapped her cheeks? 0. Da, 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 da. I think he's referring to the 13th. Okay, I will go back. Okay, you said the 13th. I didn't know if you were talking about the 13th on both comments you made or just the first one. So I will go back and I can go back and watch the one on the 13th. I'm not sure what that's going to accomplish, and quite frankly, I don't particularly enjoy listening to his voice, but I certainly can when I have time. To be quite honest, I stream for fun. I don't stream for a job. Again, I am not monetized. I do not get a single cent off of this. Every time I spend 4 to 5 hours online, I don't get paid for it. Okay? So everything I do and the effort I put into all this, including prep and production and pre-production for it, I don't get paid for any of it. So I literally spend my own time doing it. So, I mean, am I working towards monetization? I don't think I'm ever going to get there, and probably at least not until the end of the year. And even then, I'm not sure whether or not I'm even going to want it, because I'm not sure if I'm going to stream that much where it would be worth it. But when I do have time, I can go back and watch it. Okay? So moving on. So that's pretty much all the info that I have at this point. I am going to So it doesn't look like she hasn't tweeted out since yesterday when she did her did when she let the world know. Oh, um, so y'all behave, okay? Y'all behave, but her DMs are back. That's interesting. Yeah, she hasn't friended me or nothing, but her DMs are back. She did turn them off the other day, so that's something. She must have cleaned out her DM box finally. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the other thing I was gonna cover. Look at that. I thought that I found interesting. So Anime News Network a while back. Well, actually, yeah, this is a while back, but I thought it was kind of interesting just to do a little comparison work here. They did a little comparison a while back of how much people were getting super chats and everything, and I thought it was interesting that the top out of the top 10 earners, KoKore, 85 million yen, and then you got this one here, which is not a VTuber, and then number 3 was Rushia, and then number 4, I couldn't believe I didn't realize Aqua was that popular, and she had 75 million. I mean, that's just crazy. I didn't realize that she was just good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay. So Mima, you're starting to spout a lot of things that you're starting to say a lot of things that is I'll tell you what. Okay. I I would like you to share with how you know Rushia didn't feel backstabbed at all. How do you know? Please tell me how do you know? I do not see an answer yet. So yeah, while we're waiting for this insider information here on how Mima seems to have all these facts, and is going to tell us how she exactly knows that she didn't feel backstabbed, that Rushia didn't feel backstabbed. But what I find interesting is that Picora actually made 2 million less than Aqua. I didn't think Aqua was that popular, but evidently she, I mean, she's a heavyweight. I mean that's pretty. That's pretty good. That's pretty interesting. And then you had Marine. She came in at number 7. I mean that's awesome. And you don't have you don't have EN on here, which I found kind of interesting. These were all looks like these were all JP, so I'm not sure how that would stack up with if you were to put Mori and Gura up there with them. Da, 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 da. So because she's the one who's asking KRKR for help, even watch the stream on the 13th of February. Okay, that still doesn't answer the question of how you know she doesn't feel backstabbed. I mean, the guy literally just streamed this stuff tonight. So how do you know she doesn't feel backstabbed? Okay? Because he streamed that stuff on the 13th. She was terminated literally 2 days ago now. Okay, the 23rd or technically the 24th, I guess. She was terminated on the 24th, which is 11 days from the 13th, which of that last stream. So in 11 days, she lost her job because she handed over information to that guy. Okay, so how exactly would she not feel backstabbed by him after losing her job because she gave information to him, and then she lost her job because she gave information to him? That makes no sense. Okay, you're starting to make speculation here. Okay, so I would suggest that you either ground your comments in a little bit more factual basis. You know, have a train of thought, a logical train of thought where we can follow it to a conclusion that's feasible. You know, because you cannot tell us that she doesn't feel backstabbed when she tells somebody something in confidence, that person turns around and shares all this information that was supposed to be held in confidence. She loses her job because she shared information in confidence, and then he turns around today and he shares more information, disinformation, misinformation that was supposedly shared in confidence, and tell us that she does not feel backstabbed. Okay? I don't mind debating you on this, but please, you know, I mean, if you want me and the chat to believe and understand what you're trying to say, we need you to have a little bit more you know, there needs to be a logical train of thought that we can follow, evidence of some sort. You know, I mean, and that's why I'm asking you, you know, if you're going to claim something, where's the proof? You know, we can't reference a video that was filmed on the 13th as evidence that she doesn't feel backstabbed today, because that was filmed on the 13th before all this stuff happened. If she felt backstabbed, she won't even provide him with more info, but she actually did to answer a live call question on the 13th. Again, okay, so she may not have felt backstabbed on the 13th. That does not mean that she doesn't feel backstabbed now. Okay, so your statement holds water. Your statement holds water up to the 13th. It does not hold water today. No one can disprove your interpretation. Not logical. No one can disprove your interpretation. Not logical. Eh? Maybe it's her fault after all. Again, for those of you that are just coming in, and Kim, to answer your to respond to your comment, my channel's position, okay, my channel's position regarding Rushia's controversy as a whole. I'm going to reiterate that, and thank you for the sub. Everyone who has subbed in the last hour, I apologize I didn't get to you while we were talking. Okay, but thank you for the subs. I appreciate you. Okay, I appreciate you coming in and subscribing. So for everyone that has just come in, you love Mufasa. I sure, I sure hope you love Mufasa, because I don't like the guy, but I don't know him either. So again, Mufasa, if you're out there and you're listening to me, if you ever get sick of me calling you that, just give me a call. We'll talk. All right. So maybe it's her fault after all. Look, okay, my channel's position is and always will be, until the evidence proves otherwise, okay, that every party that's involved in this situation is at fault, okay? KoreKore, Hololive themselves as an agency, Rushia, Mufasa, KoreKore, they all bear an aspect of responsibility and at fault, okay? Because they all have played a piece in what happened, okay? Now, in regards to my stream tonight, my stream tonight is titled the way it is specifically because KoreKore decided to trot out 2 translators onto his stream in a veiled attempt to prove the information he had, and pass the information off to an English and Chinese audience by having these supposed translators on his stream. Okay, now we took sections of that stream and we broke it down, and when I presented it to you, and I presented it to the stream here tonight, I clearly demonstrated, at least in my eyes, the best of my ability, I clearly demonstrated the fallacies of that demonstration, of his presentation, and of the fact that the English translator, 1, was either not good, 2, was not actually an English translator into someone he grabbed that he knows some English and some Japanese, and 3, was misrepresenting what he was trying to say, okay? Several of the statements that she made on his behalf and passed it off as translation tried to portray him in a positive light and absolve him of responsibility, his piece of responsibility within this controversy, which is counter to all the evidence out there that he has played a role in her termination. Okay, he may not be the sole reason, however, he played a part. Okay, just like Rushia played a part, Hololive played a part, KoreKore played a part, Mufasa played a part. They all have responsibilities, and those responsibilities are now being owned up to. Okay, now my advice, and this goes back to what I was telling the chat here, and specifically with the conversation I was having earlier, my Mufasa, yeah, I love calling him Mufasa, because every time I try to pronunciate his name, I'm like, you know what, he's Mufasa. Now, like I was telling the chat here, I believe that there is a certain amount of I believe that there's a certain amount of ownership that is not being owned up to, especially on KoreKore's behalf, and he is trying his best to deflect because he knows that he's caught up in something that he just desperately wants to be able to get out of, but yet still have the inside scoop on, perhaps. Okay. And that's been very evident when, you know, he desperately was trying to blame everyone else, you know, Rushia's chat, Rushia's fans, Rushia's aunties, you know, Mufasa's fans, Mufasa's aunties, you know, not my chat, not me, but everyone else. Okay? The best thing to do in KoreKore, if you're out there and listening and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, this guy is making this stuff up and I need to correct this. Step out, bro. Just step out. And if Rushia is out there and she's asking you to present this stuff on her behalf, tell her no. Just tell her no. Look, I know the girl's pretty. I ain't not gonna lie, the girl is pretty. And if she bats her eyes at you and says, come on, I need your help on this, tell her no. She can take care of herself. For crying out loud, she made 78 million yen. Well, before they took their cuts, but she made 78 million yen. She can take care of herself. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the subs. I gotta get my platforms right. I keep thanking them on Twitch. Thank you for the subs. Just gonna step out. Hey, Mima, I'm glad I can see you LOL in my chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to see that you can LOL with something I say. Okay? And I'm glad you're sticking around. We may not agree on everything, but I appreciate that. Because that shows me that, you know, I tried to give you some respect and give you your space to talk, to say what you wanted to say, you know. And I appreciate it. Off-topic question here. I think you have a potential in voice acting, possible room for VA. I have. I actually have been toying around with doing like VA stuff. You know, just kind of going a little off topic here. Part of what I was doing before I got COVID was I'm working on a bunch of they're roughly 7-minute presentations for my channel, and each one of them is a short for presenting and introducing a different VTuber every video. And usually it basically they're going to be videos of VTubers I either know personally or people that have had influences on me, and it's going to be kind of like in a voice acting type of skit, type of like almost like a visual novel type presentation type thing. And myself and another VTuber, she goes by the name of Hina. She was actually in my debut or my prologue video that I have on my channel. You know, and if you watch that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Both of us are actually working on that together, in a collaboration. So there'll be some interaction there between us. I have her playing Kamisama, and then she basically is talking to me as Kamisama and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting, and I may be able to pull some other VTubers in as well to work on those things. One of the VTubers I'm hoping I can get to help voice act for a couple of lines, anyways, is my good friend Usagi Sensei. She is a Japanese VTuber that I've collabed once with, and she's really fun to work with. So, but then there's a few others I'm gonna try to pull into if I can. But anyways, it's something I've thought about. Hey, you know what? I appreciate that mutual respect, Mina. All right, and I appreciate the fact that you didn't go off on my chat. Because you know we can agree to disagree in my chat, and I want to make that abundantly clear. Okay, we can agree to disagree in my chat. We can have, as long as the conversation stays civil, and we're able to talk about our disagreements civilly and respectfully towards each other. That's what my chat's for. Okay, that's another reason why I have been doing my streams and streaming as long as karaoke stream. No. I will not do karaoke. I actually have thought about doing a rap karaoke stream, but I haven't hit my beats in a long time. I actually slight segue. I was working on a parody of Ain't Nothing But a G Thing for my one of my friends' birthdays, and I was doing a parody of Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, and matching the lyrics to match her channel and her fandom and stuff like that for her channel. And I'm like, man, I haven't rapped in so long that I was like, I can't keep up with the beat, yo. That's all I had to spend an entire day literally just kind of like training myself to, speak faster, talk faster, get my mouth to move faster, loosen up my jaw, that kind of thing. I mean, it was just terrible because I hadn't done it in years. But it was fun. It was fun, but maybe one day, but we'll see. 3D debut. I actually thought about doing 3D, but I had been eyeing a virtual VR headset and all the sensors and stuff like that. But at least for right now, Live2D is where I'm going to stay at. I mean, quite frankly, I even though I have streamed a lot in the last 3 days, again, I have been primarily part-time, especially because I've been sick with COVID. I mean, this is the most healthy I've felt since I've been recovering from COVID. So, we'll see how that goes, and whether or not I can keep my health up and I can completely recover from it. Because like right now, I still have to use an inhaler to keep my lungs open. The other night you guys were telling me that, I was panting a lot, or it sounded like I was breathing heavy. Well, after I stopped streaming, I realized I actually was. Even though I had moved the mic, I was breathing really heavy, and it was because I hadn't used my inhaler in 6 hours, and I had streamed for 5. So it's I'm still, my lungs are still recovering from COVID. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a long fight. I've spent most of the month fighting COVID. I started feeling sick at the very beginning of the month, and I ran a fever for close to a week, and then I started getting better, and then I relapsed, and then I ran a fever again for like 3 or 4 days, and it was just like really, really, really hard to breathe, and luckily I was able to have a respirator and stuff like that to help me breathe and everything like that, but and I don't have to have a respirator now in order to go about my daily life, but I still have to have an inhaler every once in a while to help me breathe and open up my lungs and everything else like that. So yes, you guys, stay safe too. I mean, I know things are getting a lot better out there, and things are starting to really improve, and hopefully, we're done with all the COVID variants and all that BS and garbage and stuff like that. And but still stay safe out there. Just don't get complacent on those things, because you know I mean, it only takes one small exposure, and then you end up feeling miserable. Several of my other VTuber friends in Asia, um, they're coming down with COVID now, and they've been able to largely dodge the bullet over there, and they're now coming down with it, and it just kind of hurts the soul, because they watched me suffer through it, and now I'm starting to recover, and they're going down with it, and it's like, oh man, I just want this done and over with, But anyways, I want to ask you guys something here, because I really want an opinion on this, and we can kind of shift the topic here. If there are new any people that have recently come into the chat that have any questions regarding what the initial topic was, about KoreKore and everything else that we have been covering, please speak up. Let me and let me know if there's anything you want to be caught up on. I'm going to shift topics just a little bit here, because I don't want to dwell on a lot of this stuff too much and just kind of rehash it over and over and over again, because there are other things that we should talk about, and indeed they all have bearings, and are kind of interconnected. But first off, I want to ask you guys, I Aqua always seems to kind of stream at an odd time for me, and I never quite seem to catch her when she streams. Are there any Aqua fans here in chat tonight? I'm just curious, Twitter went dark this last few hours about this. And that's the thing. Thank you for that comment. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because I saw a lot of stuff being said on Twitter about it, and I'm like, some of this stuff just don't feel right. And so after I started reviewing the video, I started thinking there is there is a lot of this stuff started not making sense. Aqua's fine, guys. Aqua's fine. As far as I know, Aqua's fine, anyways. I'm just curious, because I haven't been able to. I've only been able to catch her once or twice. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate you the sub. Thank you. Um, you know, how is her content? I mean, is she does she do a lot of chatting and skit type of stuff and comedy type of stuff, or does she do a lot of gaming and everything else like that? Because she's one of the few that I always seem to catch her at the very end when she's going over super chats, and she's just signing off, and then I end up having to go to the next person and everything like that. Oi, I left to do something. What did I miss? How long have you been gone? Super Mario 64 gamer. Oh, I really want to see that. Um, I, I know that the 64 Mario 64 is very janky and on Switch, but I just started playing that on 60 on my Switch, and because I've never played it, I completely skipped out on on Nintendo 64. So I really should look that up and watch her play that. That sounds fun. Apex, she plays a lot of Apex. Oh, she's a pro Apex. Oh, is she better than Toa? Or is she like on par with Toa? Gora's live right now? Okay. So for those of you that just joined in, basically earlier we covered the video that KoreKore released earlier today, and specifically I reviewed and covered um, the segments that he used where he used he had two translators that came on to his stream, and they were supposedly translators, one English and one Chinese. Okay, now I can't speak on behalf of the Chinese translator, I don't know Chinese, but the English translator was extremely bad. I mean, very very bad. I've talked to other people who have worked with like translators before, and I mean I've talked to at least one English teacher that has taught English over in Japan, and even that, I mean, it, it was just like horrible translation. I mean, the context was just all over the place, right? And I mean, you can tell that she was leaving out things when she was talking, or supposedly saying, repeating in English what she was being told. And then when you compared what he was typing out for her to say versus what it actually said, what she was saying, it was either you know uh, casting him in a very a very bright light where it absolved him of responsibility of everything, or it was just completely off compared to what was actually being said or typed out. So we went over that. We compared what being said. We compared what the explanations were, and whether or not those explanations made sense logically, whether or not the train of thought was correct, whether or not what was being said now, compared to what was said on the 13th, was the same or different, whether or not the stories matched up, those types of things. So that's basically what we have done earlier. So Aqua, it has been doing Apex, Karaoke, Minecraft, and oh, that's right, she does have a 3D, doesn't she? Oh, that's right. Aqua is better than Toa in Apex. You're really? She's a solo mass, really? Okay, I gotta watch her. I gotta go back and watch her archives, because I mean I am, I'll be honest, I am terrible at Apex, but I mean, and my girl is Roboco, and I know she can't match up to Toa or Aqua. Okay, but I mean, I love watching her play Apex. So I would, I mean, if Aqua is that good at Apex, Onion Supreme, she's an Apex predator, huh? Nice. Gamer Onion. Hello, hello. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming in. As in, like, using bad translation, as in, like, using translation that it, it, it would be like using Google Translate, but worse, if that makes sense. I mean, but it'd be like using Google Translate, but even then, the context wouldn't be a part of the translation. If that makes sense. Aqua fan uprising in you. Hey, you know what? I when I first started watching Hololive, um, I'll I'll tell you a little bit a little story here. When I first started watching Hololive, I was not a huge fan of Botan, Toa, or Roboco because they primarily played shooters. And at the time I was just like really burned out on shooters and everything because I used to play. I wasn't a COD player, but I was a Battlefield player, and I was just completely burned out on Battlefield at the point and shooters in general. So it's like, oh, okay, they're playing shooters. I'm just gonna go to the next person type thing. But then I started watching Roboco, and I'm like, hey, this ain't half bad, because Roboco like makes it, makes it really fun. And then I started watching Botan when she got her night vision goggles, and I was like, oh my god. I just couldn't stop laughing. She put on her night vision goggles and she just be going out, And I'm like, yo, this girl's hot. This girl's going off, and then I saw I watched when Roboco and Toa went head to head in points, and I'm like, man, I mean, Toa's just, Toa's just like vicious, So, yeah, I think I'll definitely have to catch up with Aqua. I'll definitely do that. For those of you that are leaving, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you stopping by. If you're just dropping in, we're mostly shifting to doing more generalized chat and everything like that. But if you do have any questions regarding the stream topic itself, please by all means just go ahead and speak up. Yeah, it's not gonna break the flow of the chat or anything like that. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna say, hey, we're not talking about that anymore. Please just go ahead and speak up. All right. Basically, I just kind of want to shift topics a little bit because we did get a little bit down and dirty with all the stuff that had been going on here. I do want to kind of lighten the mood just a little bit with everything that's we've talked about. Okay, guys. So if we want to have a little bit of fun here with generalized talking, or one of the other things I really wanted to kind of talk about in general was we talked about before in the last few days where we kind of feel like there's kind of a stigma within the VTuber community, or even the fandom, the VTuber fandom community, that we kind of feel like we have a battle that's going on inside our own community, and what can we do about it, kind of thing, and I kind of feel that on both sides because I mean I am on both sides, but I don't want to dive into something very deep and dark unless it's something that everyone wants to really start we touch a topic that everyone wants to talk about. But I mean, if we want to keep it a little bit lighthearted right now, we can certainly do that. You need to go to sleep soon. I actually will. I mean, unless something comes up and where we need to talk about it here in the next hour and a half or so, I plan on crashing here. I actually got to catch up with a friend before I crash, anyways. So, I'll probably be checking out here in about an hour or so. So, but thank you for reminding me. I do need to keep an eye on the clock. you know, um, I may need a TLDR is all. I went into do the petition and entered all the way late. So, TLDR, regarding tonight's stream, we basically went over the video that was released by KoreKore earlier today, or depending on where you are, yesterday. And he basically he basically reviewed a bunch of information that he had released earlier, and then he supposedly had some information, new information that he was disclosing. And when he started disclosing the information, he brought out two supposed translator, one English and one Chinese. Okay, now I can't vouch for the Chinese person because I don't speak Chinese. Okay, but the English translator, when you would compare what she was saying versus what he was saying, or what he was typing, or what was on the screen, there were very big noticeable differences in what she was saying versus what was actually there. Okay, and it wasn't just like nuances between the languages and the fact that the language, our languages aren't one-to-one translation. It was that she was literally leaving a lot of words out, and that she was changing a lot of words. She was using different terminology, and the terminology that she was using was casting KoreKore in a very different light versus what was actually on screen, and the terminology that was being used. So we basically reviewed the video, and we went through all that, and we broke it down, and and I posed the question to the chat. I said, look, this is what it says on the screen. This is the actual translation, or this this is what was on the screen, and yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. And you can go back and in his video is still up there. I mean, his video is up there. Most of that stuff you can go back and you can look at it yourself. You can do your own research, and you can draw your own conclusions and opinions on it. But at least in my eyes, and with the research and information I have on hand, and I've been able to dig up, a lot of this stuff didn't match up. Either with what he was saying or what the translator was saying, and then compared to what was being said back on the 13th. So, when you start having inconsistencies in stories like that, you start doubting the story that's being told to you, is what I'm saying. Okay. So then you start doubting whether or not it's credible, and what he's saying is credible, and whether or not he's serving Rushia, doing justice to Rushia, or doing a service to Rushia, by being that third party that's supposedly helping her clear her name, or put the rumors to rest. And that's the thing that we're the point that we're trying to make above all else is that, hey, if he is making this worse, and these are the inconsistencies, they need to be pointed out, because people are taking it as fact and running with it. And then, like I mentioned to the chat earlier, you don't just have two different camps now. You have four different camps, because you have the language barriers between English and Japanese, but then you also have the antis and the supporters in both language areas. So you have the Japanese antis and supporters, and then you have the English antis and supporters. So you have four different camps now that are all bickering among each other, and it just makes it worse. So Ollie with her Aniki though. You know what? I've watched Ollie and her Aniki. I remember watching Ollie and play with her Aniki when she first started, and they were playing Apex together. And I can't remember what day it was. I mean, it was she was relatively still new, and she was like, you know, she was running through some place, and she just like got ambushed, and she just shrieked, "Oni-chan!" You know, and then she's like, you know, no one heard that. You know, it's like TLDR, too long didn't read. Yo, I just gave a TLDR. I literally just finished a TLDR. Oh man, this is why I repeat myself over and over and over again. I need to start learning how to shorten my TLDRs. What is TLDR? Too long didn't read. So it's basically shorthand for like, give me the short version. So the short. You like Mufasa? Ooh. Okay, you can like Mufasa if you want. He's Mufasa to me. Yeah. So the TLDR, TLDR, KoreKore had a stream. He had two translators on it. One translator was English, and she was extremely bad. Like, her translations did not match up with what she was actually saying, and she was extremely sus. We went and reviewed the video. We looked at what she was saying versus what was on screen. I provided the actual translations of what she was saying versus what was on screen, or what was being read to her, or the lines that were being fed to her, and what she was saying versus what was there did not match up in context or otherwise. Now, she could have just been a bad English translator. It's very possible. But regardless of whether or not she was just bad at English or not, her translations are now out there and being taken as gospel, which means that you have English people thinking, okay, I know exactly what actually happened now, when that's not the case. And so if he wanted to do this right, he should have had somebody there that could have given an accurate description of what he wanted to say. That's the short version. Sorry, tell him to watch the VOD. I could, but I should find out whether or not I have the VOD, the live VOD on, so they can rewind. But that's just me. But then they rewind all the way back to when I was dropping F-bombs. I don't know if I want that. KoreKore is a good help to Rushia. You're a little sus there, buddy. And if that's sarcasm, that's very bad sarcasm. Can someone explain reasons why a coworker or senpai might harass somebody? I heard that Rushia was being harassed by her senior. So that is a rumor. Okay. The rumor was that she had a problem with one of her senpais, and that her senpai was harassing her, and that was another thing that was being said in confidence. There is no evidence that I'm aware of, actual evidence, um, that points to it. However, that could also be that could also be something that is uh, something that we're not completely privy to all the information for. So we should be kind of careful about what taking that as gospel. But if you're looking for actual reasons on why they would do it, there is kind of there's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy within the workforce. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's I wouldn't want to. I don't want it to. I don't want to speak upon the culture, because I've never actually worked in a Japanese employment, in Japanese employment. I am Japanese, but I am not am not employed by a Japanese employer. Senpai from Hololive, yes, that is the rumor. It is only a rumor. It is a rumor that that has been repeated by other VTubers here on YouTube, and they have half passed it off as news, but then try to swerve it at the last minute and say that it's unconfirmed. So take it with a grain of salt. So yes, it's a rumor. You just say it as it is. It's a rumor, nothing more, until we have proof. And they didn't say which senpai, but considering that she is 3rd gen, you have Gen 0 through 2. I thought I banned I banned one of them. I did ban somebody, so that might be who you saw. No, it is not regarding KoreKore. KoreKore is not helping Japanese fans be calm. He is. Let's address that real quick. KoreKore is keeping his fan base calm. He is keeping Mufasa's fan base calm. He is not keeping Japanese fans calm. If anything, he is fanning the flames of antis and of Rushia's fans. So he's literally helping like himself and maybe like 20% of people out there. Now, and just to throw it out there, Pecan is not necessarily a a pro KoreKore, or I'm sorry, Pancon, is not a pro necessarily a pro KoreKore fan. They have been in chat here before, and they have been very civil with our with our other people here. So unless they start being disruptive, they're okay. All right, guys. So um, nope, not giving him my view. You're not giving who what view? You hope it's only a rumor. Look, there is always there's always going to be friction and any workforce, guys. Okay, whether you have 5 people or you have 30 people or you have 100 people or 1,000 people, there's always going to be friction within a workforce, and especially when there's a hierarchy there. Okay, now as far as I know, I do not know, and it has not been confirmed which, if any, senpai was doing the bullying. Okay, so if someone's going to toss out a name, I expect you to have evidence and be able to point to where and who has the evidence so we can see it and I can pull it up on screen here in live. If you cannot provide that, please refrain from making accusations. Okay? So, until it is confirmed and that there is evidence to prove the point, we do not know whether or not it's true or not. It is nothing more than a rumor. But like I was saying, in any work environment, there's always going to be friction. There's always going to be there's always going to be somebody who feels like they're getting the short end. There's always going to be somebody who feels like they're not being treated correctly. There's always going to be somebody that you're always going to have the happy person. You're always going to have the downer person. You're always going to have the person that works late. You're always going to have the person that comes in late. You're going to have all of those stereotypes because the stereotypes literally are what happens in real life. Okay, so whether or not Rushia had a grievance with another person, it could very well be true. Okay, when I worked for the hospital, I worked in a 60-man IT group, and one person had a problem with me in that 60-man IT group, and that person made it hell for me for 5 years. Okay, and it's like we never even see each other, but yet that person made it hell for me because they had a problem with me and I never even worked with them. I'm like, what's your problem? And they just plain out, it said, I don't like you. I'm like, you don't even know me, So, I mean, if there was even any bullying or harassment happening, I mean, considering the fact that most of them work remotely in the first place and they don't actually see each other, I find that very sus as well. Because when you're working remotely and you're not actually seeing each other, it's very hard to harass somebody if you're not working in the same office, like, 5 days a week for 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, unless they were like attending practices and, or, they were doing recitals or rehearsals or something and then it happened. I mean, that could be it. But unless it was something specific like that, most of the time they're working like, remotely, for, 3, 4, 5 hours a day. And then they may go into the office like for a couple hours. And then after that, they go to practice. And then after that, they go home and stream again. So they may only see each other for probably 2 or 3 hours a day if they see each other that day. All of this should not have happened. That is truth, and I said that pretty loudly earlier today, earlier in the stream. I agree, but nonsense. I tell the truth. If you know, Nux and his fans are a very interesting bunch, and honestly, I'm a bit surprised that whether or not Nux decides to unleash the beast. Um, I'm surprised that hasn't happened already, to be quite frank, because I am very well aware of the fact that he has friends, and um, I'm I'm uh, I'm not sure how he feels about certain people that are involved in this situation, but um, considering that Rushia is on the outside looking in, I'm very surprised that I think he's actually being smart and keeping himself out of this because he doesn't want to be part of it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a stealth mission. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he literally he was literally threatening it with our lady here on the screen with Coco when people were going after her, and the same thing with Nanners. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Is it Okayu's birthday? Is she streaming right now? Okayu. Oh, I love Okayu. Even though she you know, even though she is this, she puts me to sleep every time I listen to her because she's so relaxed. Okayu. Okayu. Oh, I'll have to send her a super chat later. Okayu. Okayu. Oh, it was her birthday? Oh, it was yesterday? No, I missed it. I was a member of her channel for a couple of months, and I remember sitting through one of her ASMRs. It was the first time I ever sat through an ASMR, and I can remember like sitting there and thinking, how's this supposed to be relaxing? And like not even 5 minutes later, I fell asleep. uh Yeah, and she is she's one of those types that she's literally like one of those types that you she's a gamer girl, and gamer girls, I mean, gamer girls automatically like go from like hey, you're a girl to like, hey, you're a girl, in my book. you know. Uh Okayu's brother. I don't know. I if I was her Onichan, I would be like completely protective of her. I'd be like, I, I would be fighting Karone for being petted. I'm like, you're not gonna get petted. My Imoto is gonna pet me. What are you talking about? uh, yes, Bay's birthday's around the corner. Let's go! Boom, boom. Oh, I love Bay. Bay is so cute. She is so cute. You know, she is so energetic. She is so cute when she just I mean, she just goes nuts. Um, did you guys watch when her and Iris were doing their dubbing the other night? Oh, that was just so awesome. I was just laughing the entire time. Yes, yes, yes. That was just the best. That was the best. That was just the best. The rat, the rat. Uh, I I love it when she was playing This Is Not a Game, and what was the other one? Um, uh, she had Steve and then she had Dave. She was playing when she was playing those games. She's like Steve, Steve. uh yeah, yeah. You know, yeah, wife dubbing was great. Her all of her interactions with Callie is just adorable. I mean, she simps over Callie like nothing. I mean, she just goes gaga over Callie. I mean, she just adores Callie. You've watched you watched all. I've watched as far as I have I've watched a lot of Gen 3 stuff, but I wish I have had the time to watch all of Gen 3 stuff. There's a lot of stuff I still haven't watched of Gen 3. I haven't even watched you know um m- was it Mume, or was it I'm a member of Fauna's Coroni. I've watched some of Coroni's. I've watched a few of Mume's. Um, 70-hour jump king. Oh, I could not picture doing Jump King for that long. I mean, I've seen Callie doing Jump King for like so many streams, and I just look at myself at her, and I'm like, and I face palm, and I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself, girl? Why? Sana, yeah. I haven't watched hardly any of Sana's. Um, I I'm not sure if it's just because her presentation is a lot different from my tastes, or if it's because the type of streams she does is just outside of what I usually watch. But I'm not hugely into sauna. And of course I said huge in sauna. She she's so big. Unless she has her limiter on. She's too, um. Can she be Ina in Tetris? So I think Ina is like really good at Tetris too. Is either Tetris or Poi Poi, one of the two. She's good at one of the two. Oh, Puyo Puyo. I'm sorry, Puyo Puyo. It got bad. It got so bad in Cali Discord server that they had to make a new rules to tell people to stop complaining about Cali playing Jump King. You know, I don't blame them. I mean, sometimes I honestly think, and this is just my opinion, guys. I honestly think that Callie is straight up 100% S. I mean, I don't think there is 1% of M in her. She's all S. Especially after that hell ASMR thing that she did. Oh my god. I lasted 8 minutes before my ears started bleeding. I mean, that was just, I couldn't take it. I, I lasted 8 minutes and then I turned it off. And then I came back the next day and I saw there was a clip of it. And I made it through maybe about 2 minutes of the clip. And then I'm like, I gotta turn the clip off. We bring a fight to KoreKore. And KoreKore needs to have his channel delete. So I will not encourage anybody to delete his channel. As much as I think he shouldn't be on YouTube. And the reason why I say that is because I've had my channel nuked twice. And it is not nice, especially I don't believe in that kind of action. If we're gonna do it, you do it the right way. And you know what comes around goes around. And he'll get his. He'll get his. It may not be when we're watching, but he'll get his. And who knows? I mean, maybe he does get his channel nuked, but you know, I won't encourage it in my channel. Yeah, he likes to fuck with people. That's what, you know. She is such I don't want to call her a schemer because she's not she doesn't seem to be like premeditated schemer. It's like she is spontaneous schemer type person. It's like she suddenly gets an idea and then she just goes with it type person. You know, it doesn't seem like she plans things out very well. You know, the cursed ASMR stream. Oh man, I'm sure she probably damaged a lot of power tools and a lot of kitchen utensils and bowls and everything else that night. I can't remember if she moved or not before she did that. I want her to watch. I want her to do another Adam Sandler night because you know what? I loved watching doing those watch-alongs. I mean, I don't mind watching Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's cool. I don't like all of his movies, but I mean, I wouldn't mind watching Waterboy. Waterboy's cool. You know, Happy Gilmore. I grew up watching Happy Gilmore, you know, so, you know, I mean, that's fine with me. Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, I didn't like his, like, Big Daddy or whatever it was, and his, of course, you know, all of his movies are practically the same, and then his content just went down afterwards, but, you know, Billy Madison, I guess, was okay, but... Let's see. ASMR. The the Subaru ASMR. I heard like a second of it, and then the next thing I remember was my cat pawing me on the floor. Because I don't remember what happened after that. Oh my my gosh. Subaru, what are you doing, girl? Oh, by the way, I finally got my Subaru Shuba Ducky, that stuffed plush duck that I ordered from her set back like 8 months ago. It was held up in customs because of COVID, and I'm like, when is my Subaru duck gonna get here? You know, I waited like I think it was like something like 6 months, 8 months, something like that. It finally showed up. I'm like, oh yes, my Subaru duck finally showed up. I wish I had the money to order Ina's birthday big taco. I mean, that thing was just huge, though. I mean, it was like $100 for that taco, and then I looked at shipping and customs. It would have cost me over $200 to get that shipped to me. I'm like, oh my god, I had to pass on that. I was so sad. Ina's so pure. So say so, or say so, priestess. I wanted that taco. I wish I could still do that taco. Yes, I will give it. I'll give it another 3 minutes of chat, and then we'll look to see if there has been any new news, and then if not, then I'm gonna take off, because I do feel myself getting tired. But thanks for the time check. So I tell you this: Ina and Ami are doing a surprise off collab. What? Are they? No. Ina and Ami got together to do an off collab? Really? Nice. I hope they bring back stories. I want to hear stories, because I can only imagine the type of trouble that Ami would get Ina into. I mean, I can only picture. I mean, Ina. I I mean, Ami seems like the type that would like walk past like Victoria's Secret and then go, Ina, let's go in together. And Ina would just like turn beet red, and she's like, no, 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 and she'd be dragging her in, or something like that, because it just something stupid like that. I mean, that's the way I picture Ami, or Guru would do that too. Because I mean, I no matter how I look at Ame, I mean, I know Ame did her fundraiser, and she just like literally blew the lid off that fundraiser, and I applaud her for it. And I could not believe how well she did with the fundraiser. But between the salt and between the salt and the fact that her mind just goes from like salt to gutter within like 0.001 seconds, it's just is it true that Rushia made a new channel? Yes, and as a matter of fact, since you mentioned it, I am gonna go ahead and do my checks now here, and if there is no new info or actions and stuff, we'll probably call it a night. That's her new Twitter account. That takes you to her current Twitter account right here. If you click on her, look at her profile at the very top there. That's her current YouTube channel, her current Nickel video channel. You can go there and follow her there. Okay. and you guys see it, but you guys do not. Yeah, I know she's already back up to 412. Isn't that crazy? You guys saw it here, but you guys, please do not spam her. But her DMs are back on. Just saying. Okay, so I had to check. I had to check to make sure I wasn't seeing things. But yeah, her DMs are back on. So, okay. So, Pam, what are you tweeting at? Oh, me after playing Elden Ring for 22 hours without any breaks? Pam, go to bed. You're worse than I am. Oh, man. Okay. So it doesn't look like it doesn't look like she has said anything on her account there. And then she hasn't done no actions on here. And let's see. And oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh, snap. Wait a minute. Why is this one? Okay, that's the same video. Okay. Okay. I thought for a minute maybe she did another video, but this is the same video on Twitcasting, the 7-minute video from the other day. So she hasn't had any emotions or action on that. And let's see here. And just checking my feed. Wow. Iron Mouse broke another subathon record. Holy crap. Girl, you're crazy. As of this rate, Demon Queen VTuber affiliated with Vizojo has continued broken online records in her ongoing uncapped subathon stream as of this writing. Currently, the second day of her subathon has not shown any signs of slowing down. Iron Mouse, for context, started subathon on the 4th. Where every subscriber to her Twitch channel, as well as every 500 bits or $5 donated, extended the subathon timer 15 seconds each. Wow. She has 120,000 active subscribers. Wow. At $5 each. That's a lot of money per month. 3 a.m. I hear ya. I hear ya. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and crash though, because I'm actually starting to feel it after streaming with streaming for so long these last couple days, and only taking like, taking little naps here, 3-4 hour naps here, and then getting back up and then prepping for the next day. So, and then of course I had my meeting at 6 this morning, and then I had to work all morning, and then into the afternoon I took another nap, and then came home and had to start getting ready for this after supper. So, yeah. Mousy, you know what? Iron Mouse, I've watched her a few times, but I am not a huge fan of hers. But there are times though that, I mean, she's just completely adorable, and watching her interaction with Mori was just, I mean, I just wanted to reach out and hug both of them. They're just, because they were so cute together. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna take my leave from you guys tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for staying by. I appreciate you guys, staying around, listening to what I have to say. Like I said, you don't have to agree with me on anything or everything I say, but I do like to present my case out in front of you guys, and present the my what my evidence is, and what my opinions are, and my conclusions are, and then let you guys judge whether or not you believe what I'm talking about and what I'm saying, or if you have your own opinions, and then we have a discussion about it. So I appreciate that fact, and you're not just completely dismissive of it. So and we're doing this all for her. None of this is about me, okay? And I appreciate the fact that you guys hang out here, and we talk about this, because we're doing it for her, and we're doing it for Rushia, and until something and somebody proves it otherwise, we're going to keep doing this for her and do everything we can to help her, okay? So thank you guys for hanging out with me today or tonight. If it's morning or afternoon for you, have a great day. If it's night for you, like it is for me, have a great night. We'll talk again soon. I do plan on streaming sometime here. Sometime here today, because it's past midnight now, but I'm not exactly sure when. I actually wanted to hit up playing Dying Light 2 at some point too, so I might actually do that here tomorrow after I wake up, and unless something, some news breaks or something like that, but we'll see. Okay, guys? So in the meantime, thank you very much for hanging out with me. Thank you for the subscriptions. Have a great day, great night. Peace. Take care.